Everyone loves to mock French, so why is it still undefeated? Today we're going over all of its features so we can harness this power for ourselves.
Phonology française.
It's a well-known fact French people really care about pronunciation, for sure. Sadly for us English speakers, there is a boatload of sounds to get wrong. These 7 here, that's 100% of Italians' vowels. In French, that's half. What about the other half? Welcome to the wonderful world of the front-rounded vowels. Tu, de, cœur. To English speakers, oo and u might sound very similar, but no matter what, it is imperative to distinguish between the two and never to mix them up, because it's the difference between saying merci beaucoup and merci beaucoup. Now I'm certain that you want to avoid the humiliation ritual of having pronunciation so terrifying you turn everyone around you into a fluent English speaker. No, je parle français.
No, we can speak English, it's okay, for sure, no problem.
To avoid such developments, go to any site with native pronunciation examples, find the word featuring the sound you struggle with, and start repeating it over and over and over again.
2 months later.
What a wonderful opportunity to segue to the nasal vowels. Viewers of the channel know that these have the bad habit of sending me to the psychiatric hospital due to my distinct talent for pronouncing them. What are nasal vowels? When you let your nose resonate along with your mouth. When are vowels nasal? If a syllable ends on a nasal consonant, nasalize the vowel. How are nasal vowels?
Bof, j'ai connu du jours meilleurs.
French thankfully only has 3 of these. Pain, son, bon. Bon. There used to be 4, but these 2 merged in the Parisian accent, and that's what foreigners like me are taught. Bon. This is impossible! French consonants bear almost no introduction. They either match up with English perfectly, or they're so iconic that you literally know about them.
Déjà vu, champagne, France.
But man, does it hate them. At the end of words in particular, only a handful ever get pronounced, with the rest getting the wood chipper. However, French demands a smooth, unbroken rhythm. Vowels crashing together creates a forbidden pause. The solution to that is liaison. The dropped consonant is resurrected to bridge the gap, attaching directly to the next word. But beware, because some of them never come back the same. Wait a minute! What happens if there isn't a consonant to bring back? All hell breaks loose. Some adjectives change completely. Articles, pronouns, and prepositions get guillotined by an apostrophe. Did I mention that there's a bunch of exceptions? And remember, French words usually run together. Pauses separate ideas, not individual words, which you may find incredibly difficult. I know that I do, so turn on the wood chipper and put me in it! Written French is still somehow more phonetic than English, despite all of our borrowing. Warning, side effects may include the inability to spell from memory. Do not attempt to spell without extensive practice. Ask your tutor if French is right for you. For those of you worried that this segment will turn into another PSA about the importance of verbs, like in the videos I've made about Latin's other progeny, no. Spoken French has declared war on conjugation. Though, if you have any hopes of ever reading, you're going to have to memorize the nightmare charts, I'm afraid. The simple past was the first casualty of vernacular French's campaign. In ordinary conversation, it's replaced by the compound past. And while the future simple is still alive and regularly used, casual speech also loves to throw in the near future construction, which feels like foreshadowing for things to come. The subjunctive mood is a proverbial hammer to the mushy skulls of newbies picking up their first romance language, and French is no exception because it drags it out whenever reality gets even slightly blurry. Doubt, emotion, desire, necessity, possibility. If I say Thomas falsifies his qualifications, I'm making a direct factual accusation. They call that a defamation lawsuit speedrun. But if I state, it is possible that Thomas falsifies his qualifications, now I've triggered the subjunctive. So when I get dragged into court, I can tell the judge, Your Honor, I was merely speculating. Which still doesn't save me, because French law explicitly accounts for defamatory allegations made in a doubtful form. I'm not kidding. The conditional is still around. The tense for polite requests, fake humility, and saying things like, I would love to, even though you absolutely wouldn't. Those overly courteous, hyper-polite French. With tons of common verbs, 4 out of the 6 forms can sound identical despite being spelled differently, which is one of the reasons French refuses to let you drop the subject pronouns. But there's more. E usually replaces a place or something introduced by a. On replaces something introduced by de or an unspecified quality. To put it simply, they function as stand-ins for things you literally just mentioned because French grammar hates repetition more than it hates me. To negate a simple verb, French normally surrounds it with n'est pas. But all of these pronouns and particles will eventually pile up. Now, this wouldn't be a problem if natives didn't speak at the speed of light. Hey, Thomas, any cookies left? Bless you. But I asked you a question. While we're still on the topic of pronouns, if you find yourself in the rare and unfortunate circumstances of employment, refer to your boss as vous and use the second person plural conjugation. French has mostly sanded off the obvious final endings that help you guess gender, so the article has to do the heavy lifting. The common plural article stopped showing gender, but adjectives and pronouns still do. And the best part is that due to a previously mentioned phonetic ruling, sometimes it is impossible to know a word's gender at a simple glance. So you better get me that dictionary because I'm not taking a single sip out of that glass until I know for a fact the water is not masculine. It is unusual for me to end a grammar section on something as basic as numbers, but if I don't, I won't hear the end of it. That's for sure. After 69, which isn't funny anymore because 67, numbers become annoyingly extra. I personally choose to use the archaic alternatives kept alive in the French-speaking Swiss cantons because I'm annoyingly extra. Maybe we have a lot more in common than I thought. The French special game! Rewind the episode and take a shot every time I say vernacular French has lost a phonetic distinction. Actually, maybe don't. It sounds like a bad idea. Do you know who Marquis de Sade is? He's an acclaimed author, and he's the guy sadism was named after. I read this book when I was 19.
Why would you write that?
Why am I bringing him up? Key themes of his works tend to overlap with the most popular French exclamations. We have the setting, the actors, and you don't want to know. And for the indecisive, you can use all 3 at the same time. I was so naturally drawn to the expression monstre de mort that I had to research it. This led me to an academic article by Martin Courtois, who traced its origin to the Italian mannaggia li mortacci tui. Of course, it had to be adapted for French phonetics. But there's more. I discovered variations of this after getting acquainted with the Lopez family beef that predominantly expressed itself in back-and-forth videos of men in varying degrees of physical fitness menacing one another with expressions like and of course, is someone getting on your nerves? Say, you are actively making me defecate. But if they don't stop pestering you, make sure to inform them that you're literally hitting your family jewels. That's how little you think of their take. Now, this isn't metropolitan French, but I tend to cover blasphemous profanity on this channel as I am Italy's biggest glazer. In Quebec, mentioning the tabernacle, the chalice, or the communion host is considered blasphemous and profane. But it feels pretty weak in comparison to what Spanish people say about, oh my god. Anyway, back to the motherland. Not that one. Don't think I forgot about the hopeless romantics. Let me introduce the dynamic duo of Nick and the F word. And if they're ever used against you, make sure you know how to tell the person to shut up. Oh my god, is that what that means? Well, maybe you shouldn't say that. That's too harsh. Thank you for liking, commenting, hyping, and subscribing. I've been your host, Plasticine Heart. Video's over. The Anglo bitterly cries out, "Why should I learn French? It's useless." Yeah, right. They still got good authors. What do we got? We got 50 Shades of 6-7. Ah, it's terrible. You read some well back and then you call me back, okay?